I wasn't home when they broke in. No warrant. No permission. No warning. Just 3 HOA officers cutting my gate and walking into my off-grid house like they owned it. What they didn't know was who I left inside. The place I live isn't marked on most maps. 9 acres of wooded land, 2 miles past the last paved road, completely off-grid. Solar, well water, backup generator. No streetlights. No neighbors close enough to complain about anything meaningful. That wasn't an accident, it was the whole point. I bought this land years ago, long before a developer decided to build a cookie-cutter neighborhood near the county line. When their HOA showed up, they tried to include me. I shut that down legally, permanently, and in writing. My property was grandfathered out. Always had been. That mattered. Because HOAs don't like the word no. That Saturday morning felt normal. Peaceful. I loaded my truck with a supply list, fuel stabilizer, generator parts, groceries. I planned to be gone for maybe 4 hours, tops. Long enough to clear my head, not long enough for anything to go wrong. Before leaving, I walked the perimeter like I always did. Gates locked. Cameras active. Motion sensors online. Everything green. Inside the house, 3 men were drinking coffee and arguing about barbecue rubs like nothing in the world could go wrong. I trusted them with my life. Which is why I trusted them with my house. Miles, Travis, and Kowalski weren't security guards. They were former Marines. We served together years ago, same sand, same chaos, same long nights wondering who wouldn't make it back. After the uniforms came off, life pulled us in different directions, but that bond never loosened. They were visiting for the weekend. Nothing tactical. No drills. Just friends catching up. Still, habits don't disappear. Miles was quiet, analytical. The kind of guy who noticed details before anyone else. Travis joked constantly, but his eyes never stopped moving. Kowalski looked like a walking wall, calm, patient, and terrifying when necessary. Before I left, I said it clearly. If anyone comes onto the property, don't engage. Observe. Record. Call the sheriff. Only escalate if they force entry. They nodded. No questions. That was enough. I didn't leave them weapons laid out or some fantasy movie scenario. Just 3 men with training, discipline, and a deep respect for the law. That discipline is the only reason this story didn't end very differently. I was halfway to town when my phone vibrated. 1 alert is normal. Animals trip sensors all the time. This wasn't one. 3 alerts. Back to back. Perimeter breach. Gate access, manual force detected. Camera feed interrupted. I pulled over immediately. The live feed loaded slowly, then flickered. When it stabilized, my stomach tightened. 3 people were standing inside my gate. Not lost hikers. Not deputies. Polo shirts. Clipboards. 1 woman holding a tablet like it was a badge. HOA. I watched as bolt cutters hit my lock. No hesitation. No discussion. They didn't knock. They didn't call. They just walked in. That's when I opened the secure channel to the house. Miles answered immediately. "We've got company," he said. "Yeah," I replied. "I see them." "Sheriff's been called?" "Already done." "Good." Because from the way they were walking, they weren't there to talk. The woman was leading. Confident. Smiling. Like she'd done this before. She pointed at my greenhouse. Took pictures. Zoomed in on the solar array. Her 2 companions followed, writing notes like they were documenting a crime scene. I heard her voice through the audio feed. "We're here for a compliance inspection. Complaints have been filed." Complaints. From who? Trees? They reached the house faster than I expected. No announcement. No doorbell. Just hands on handles. Inside, the Marines didn't move. They let the moment stretch. Let the HOA feel in control. That's when the woman knocked, not politely, but firmly. Authority in every motion. HOA inspection. Open the door. Silence. She tried again. Nothing. Then one of the men reached for the handle and twisted. Locked. That's when patience ran out. From inside, everything was calm. Travis was upstairs recording from a window angle that caught faces clearly. Miles stood near the kitchen, phone on speaker with the sheriff's dispatcher. Kowalski waited by the back in trance, posture relaxed, presence undeniable. No shouting. No threats. Just observation. That's what scared the HOA the most. People who don't panic don't bluff. The woman leaned back and sighed loudly. Fine, she said. We'll document refusal. She nodded at one of the men. He stepped back and kicked the door. Hard. The sound echoed through the house. That was the line. Kowalski opened the door slowly, just enough to be seen. The HOA froze. He didn't raise his voice. This is private property. You're trespassing. Step away from the door. One of the men scoffed. You can't threaten us with weapons. Kowalski didn't respond. He didn't have to. The taller HOA officer made a mistake. He reached forward and shoved Kowalski's arm. That's when it ended. In one smooth motion, Kowalski turned him, pinned him, and put him face down on the porch. No punches. No drama. Just control. Zip tie. Secure. The woman screamed. You can't do this. That's illegal. Miles stepped into view, holding his ID. Citizen's arrest. Trespassing. Attempted forced entry. It's all on video. The second man backed up so fast he almost fell. Sirens were already on the way. The sheriff arrived 10 minutes later. He didn't rush. He watched the footage. Listened to statements. Checked property records. Then he turned to the HOA. You're not just wrong, he said calmly. You're criminally wrong. The zip-tied man was unrestrained, then handcuffed. The woman stopped talking entirely. By the time I got back, the HOA officers were sitting in separate cruisers. Charges were filed. Trespassing. Property damage. Impersonating authority. The HOA president, yes, that woman, was cited personally. They never came back. Not once. I didn't win because I had Marines inside my house. I won because I knew my rights. Because I documented everything. Because when people who think they have power meet people who actually understand the law, reality always wins. If you live under an HOA, remember this. They don't outrank the Constitution. And if they ever forget that, make sure you're ready. Because next time, they might not walk away.